You know, Ed, I need you to tell this group about the truth serum.
Okay, so the old sodium pentothal exercise we did in the advanced classes. Yeah. It's really this simple. It's, you know, if you could hit that potential customer that you're meeting for the first time or you're trying to meet, you know, if you could hit them with truth serum, sodium pentothal, so that they just spill the beans. They tell you everything you would want to know. You know, the exercise that we used to do was, what would you want to know, right? And how do you, I guess, structure your questions to get that, right? So that's what I want to talk about. Just what kind of questions do you ask? You know, we talk about current state questions a lot. We're going through this engaged selling quite a bit these days, right? Most of our folks have been through the new training that we've got. And we have the exercise to where, you know, we talk about listening and asking questions. And most of our questions, quite frankly, are driven towards current state. When we do the exercises, where we put the little Post-it notes up on the board, everybody wants to know, particularly commercial inspectors, you know, we get that ask to where, well, what's going on now? What's going on now? What's going on now? We don't do a really good job of talking about future state or wanted state. What would they like to have, right? So instead of asking the questions about, you know, who's your current vendor, who's doing this, you know, what makes you happy, reverse engineering those questions. Wouldn't you like to know what they'd really like to have in a pest control program? Or what's your view of good communication between your staff and the pest control operator? You know, we'll ask the questions about, you know, is it the same guy that comes all the time? Those are good questions, but those are all current state questions. I think what you need to do is kind of reverse engineer it, find out what you'd love to know, and pretend that you could hit them with sodium pentothal and they'd spill the beans, and then structure your questions to get to that, It's not, you know, who's your current pest control company? By God, you should have figured that out as soon as you rolled up there. But getting towards those, you know, that wanted state. What do they want it to be like? Not the current state. You can figure all that out. You can find some pain there. But what does it really look like? What's great communication look like to you with the pest control company? You know, what kind of frequency would you like to have, you know, a member of management team visit your facility? You know, we get too hung up in what's going on now, right? What the current state is, rather than painting that picture that customers really want to buy to. Well, this is what's going on now, but if you start structuring your questions that say, you know, what would you like to see? What does good communication look like? What frequency do you want a management visit? What frequency do you want a quality assurance visit from myself? How often do you want me to come back? How often do you want, you know, what is perfect in your world? And then you can really start to build to something that, you know, doesn't just knock the other company out because they're failing, but you're building to what the customer really, truly is looking for. Not that silly question, well, if you could change one thing about your pest control company, what would it be? I hate that question. It stinks, right? So think about coming up with questions. You know, give me an idea. What does good communication look like for you? You know, how does that look? And from your eyes, you know, how often do you want to see me? How often do you want us here? And I think you'll be better off doing that. But remember that sodium pentothal. Just think about every question you ask should be reverse engineered, knowing that this is what I want to know. How do I get them to tell me it, right? And then again, focusing not so much on current state, but let's focus on, you know, future state or the wanted state, right? Makes some sense?
It makes a lot of sense.
Bounced around a bit, but I think that's what we need to focus on.
Very good.